Hey, Mr. Allgire.
Hi, Marty Hibbs. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Not bad.
We have big news today, pretty big news. This just came out. Coinbase Global said on Wednesday it had secured approval to offer cryptocurrency futures to U.S. retail customers, scoring a major regulatory win, even as it battles a lawsuit from the Securities and Exchange Commission. So
Thanks.
Coinbase can offer cryptocurrency futures. And the reason I'm bringing Marty Hibbs on is because Marty Hibbs is over 30 years experience in futures, options, trading, commodities, reading charts, and is absolute expert at this. And Marty has a private site called bullshift2020.com. People can sign up there for free and get alerts, right, Marty?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they were approved for a futures trading.
Yeah. Now, this is not the ETF that we were waiting for BlackRock. What's the difference between an ETF and being able to trade futures? What does that mean, and what does it mean for cryptos, Marty?
Okay. So basically, right now, the only place I think that you can really trade, there may be a couple of places, but the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is the futures exchange in Chicago, it's the largest exchange on the planet. You can trade futures there. They're not real liquid, but the futures contract, people have to understand, is not the same as an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. So the idea, if anybody understands futures contracts, what they are is a derivative. It's a product, a derivative of whatever the underlying asset is. So if I were to buy a futures contract on silver, it means it's basically used as a future price forecaster to be able to lock in prices. So quick example, let's say I'm an airline company and my problem going forward is the main thing that we cannot control as far as our costs are concerned. We know what the hardware, the aircrafts are worth. We know what the real estate bricks and mortar is worth. We know what our staffing is worth. We don't have control of the jet fuel or the fuel that's used for the planes. So what they would have to do is somehow lock in that price going forward, because if they didn't, what you would have is carnage. You'd have a situation where the price of oil goes way up, so the prices would double or triple the fares. And if they didn't do that, they would lose their shirt, because they have no way of controlling that mechanism or that actual asset. And that would be a big part of their liability as far as the costs going forward are concerned. So what happens with futures contracts is they're a set amount of a contract traded on an exchange, but it's a derivative, meaning it's not really the product. So for example, with jet fuel or fuel in general, even for a trucking company, what a person would do is look out, say, 3 months from now and say, okay, I need 1 million gallons of fuel for my trucks or my planes or whatever. And based on the price out there, they would lock that in. So by locking it in, what they mean is that going forward, if the price of fuel increases in price, they are on the hook for it. But what would happen is if they go to buy it from their local distributor, and let's say it went up 100%, they had to pay double the price, they would then offset that and offset their contract that they went long for. In other words, they bought an oil contract, so it would increase in price the same amount as the actual physical product. So what they've done is created what we call a hedge. And every major company in the world that has anything to do with raw materials usually hedges their positions, because if they don't, that's the thing that could really kill a lot of corporations. And the housing market is a similar idea as well. If let's say you're a major house builder and you're looking at putting together a subdivision with maybe 400 or 500 homes in it, the problem is these homes take a year or two to build. And if you're trying to sell them today, how do you know what the price is going to be going forward? So what you have to do is do your math and figure out the futures contract for the lumber, the copper, the aluminum, all the things you would need to build that property, what the prices are, and you would lock them in. So that is a futures contract. They have an expiry date, which means it's unlike an equity. When the final day comes, let's say, for example, right now we wanted to buy gold futures, and I chose the month of December. Come December, that futures contract, all the contracts are settled. That means if you're long, you sold it. If you're short, you buy it back, and they're all settled. They go away. So that contract no longer exists. Whereas if I buy a share in a company, I own the share forever and I don't lose it. So again, getting back to what we're talking about, these contracts are somewhat fictional in the sense that they create a mechanism where you can control your costs going forward in your company on both sides, whether you're a producer or an end user, but they don't really represent the real McCoy. So you don't get any Bitcoin here at all. All you get is exposure to the price movement in Bitcoin.
Okay, say that again. You don't get any actual Bitcoin. You get exposure to the change in price.
To the
Okay.
price.
Now, I didn't see the price of Bitcoin go up today when this was announced. It's kind of still flat at 29, 30, or 30,000. Is this a way for them to manipulate the price of Bitcoin? Does this give the white shoe boys a leg up on?
They could, and this is controversial, but it's the same things they do with the silver and the gold.
Well, silver we know is totally manipulated.
Yeah, it is. And it could be the same. And here's why. If you're dealing with bankers and somebody has a reason to manipulate it, they can, because it's like going to a poker game. We always said this before as an analogy. You and I sit in a room with 4 or 5 other guys, and we all got $5,000 to play poker. And it goes back and forth, back and forth. Nobody really wins. But if somebody pulls $100,000 out of their back pocket, do you have a chance of winning that game?
No, they
just go all in, and they can't lose forever. So it's the same concept here. When you got people playing with the silver and gold market, if the bank, JP Morgan, decides they want to crush the price, they go in and they sell 2,000 contracts. Each contract in gold is 100 ounces. Every contract in silver is 5,000 ounces, and they just crush everything.
So they can sell thousands of contracts of Bitcoin now.
They're created out of thin air. So what happens is there's people bidding all the way down. So what they do is they crush it. They go in and they hit every bid as it goes down, and it gets down to say $11,000 to $12,000. They just hit everything on the way down. They give everybody what they want, and it crushes the price.
So as a Bitcoin hodler, we're both into cryptos.
Yeah.
Is this good news today? Bad news? What is it? What do you?
I think it's honestly, I believe it's probably more bad than good, but I don't really see anything. Well, first of all, we know that there's always insiders that know this is coming down the pipe. Like, there's people in the regulatory department and that know this is going to be approved. So there's your insiders. They would go like a Nancy Pelosi would do. They go and they front run the market. And you see, that's why technical analysis works, because the emotions are in the market and you're not seeing that. So I think it's kind of a non-event, but I would say it would be more detrimental than beneficial. Now, if
I would say that it's good news in that this is it gives Bitcoin more respectability.
It does.
Traditional investors they're getting interested in it. They've got a foot in the door. It's another one little small step for regulatory acceptance. Yeah. The bad news is, it's going to bring in the big money and they can mess with the price now.
But here's the deal. I believe if it was going to be really negative for the market, it would have been more so negative with something like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange than it is with Coinbase.
Let me ask you this. Man, I hate to show my ignorance, but I always learned as a reporter, don't be afraid to ask it. Will the futures contracts will be a totally different chart than the price of Bitcoin itself? Like when Coinbase futures are out, is that going to be a different chart? Will it mirror the price of Bitcoin?
No, it'll mirror it, because there's a thing we know is called arbitrage. If something gets out of whack, they'll buy the physical, sell it into the market, or vice versa. So it'll be arbitrage to the point that it's going to be the same chart. But again, like, you got to look at Coinbase. People may think it's huge, but last count that I did back in 2015, when I was teaching my courses, when I started, I did the research, and the CME trades, you ready for this? $20 quadrillion worth of product a year. And that was 7-8 years.
The Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
Yes.
20 quadrillion
a year.
I have no idea how much a quadrillion is.
I think 20 zeros. It's something ridiculous.
It's a
Yeah,
billion or something like
something
that.
like that. It's outrageous. I know it's quadrillion. Now it's 20 quadrillion, but that was 2015 numbers.
So that's the CME. Okay,
Yeah.
you're going to tell us what Coinbase is in comparison.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it's a joke compared to that. I have no idea, but yeah, exactly. So again, I think it's a non-event, but it is giving more credibility to the fact that people are going to be able to play it, and speculators. But the big question that everybody is really antsy about is the ETF. And there's different kinds of ETFs. We have one in Canada that's legitimate. It's called BITO. No, it's not BITO. BTCC.
The big one we're waiting for is the BlackRock ETF.
We believe so. There's been probably half dozen or a dozen that have been already rejected or sent back to the end of the line again. When it comes through, and I believe BlackRock, because of their position, their power, and we know basically what's behind them and who's behind them, when they agree to do it, the beauty of it is it will be an ETF, and it will be unlike SLV and GLD. And people will go, well, no, it'll still be manipulated. No, it shouldn't be, because here's why. We're talking about blockchain now. So it's really easy to discover whether or not BlackRock.
You can audit every bit of it.
Exactly.
You can't audit those silver contracts.
That's right.
Exactly. They can mess with it. Okay.
Yes, you can see the wallets, and everybody's
blockchain is auditable.
That's why I think it's such a real struggle to get this. We're trying to figure out in my mind, how do we do this?
When that's announced, that'll be a big day for Bitcoin.
I think that will be absolutely huge, but I think it'll be before it's announced. I think when you start seeing it move, you'll say, okay, something is happening in the market. And I think it's already happening, because we saw that move from 15 to 30, and it's not really pulling back very well. So I think it's already in the works. And I believe possibly when it's announced, it'll be just shortly after that, you'll have a massive correction, because at that point, people will be taking their profits.
Are you still calling 38 to 40 Bitcoin this fall?
This year, before the end of the year. That's our target right now, and it's doing now. Our support line right now is around 27,000. We may go there briefly. That's what the charts are telling us right now, and they've been saying that. Anyone that's listening, that's a member, they know exactly. We called the bottom at, like, what was it, 17 first week in January.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah, and we said this is the bottom. We took our numbers off and said we're headed up to 31 to 33, and that's exactly where we are right now. We went to 31 and change, and our next major target's just shy of 40 and 35 to 40, but I don't think we're going to quite hit 40. And I think at that point it'll have a big correction from there, unless we'll see. But right now we're still bullish. You have to be patient. We're in the summer doldrums, and I'm still quite bullish on Bitcoin.
Okay, Marty, again, your site is bullshift2020.com. You can see Marty's reports. You can get not free. You can buy one-on-one sessions with Marty for trading advice and
for anybody that's new to your site. So basically bullshift2020.com. We have a free basic membership, which means just I get on and yap for an hour or so. We had Andy Scheckman on once. We do a few little interviews, but not much. But basically, I give an overall analysis of the futures contracts of some stocks, mostly mining stocks, and then the cryptos. But then there's a subscription service, which we actually do trading on. Then there's a one-on-one, as Dick mentioned, where we'll sit down with you, look at your portfolio, and give you some idea about where I think that you should be balanced. And then the main one also is we have courses. We do futures, options, and technical analysis in a bundle of about 13 to 15 hours of videos that we offer. If you sign up, it's about half price. So we got a few things going on, and it's exciting.
I'm going to propose something outrageous to you in a minute. First, I need to do quick promo. Folks, you please like and subscribe. Marty, can I put a little of this on YouTube now that we've already done it?
Why not? Go ahead.
Okay. Marty hates
I'll just grin and bear
so give us a like and a subscribe, and there's a bell that you've got to click the bell so the bell rings. Like and subscribe. On our site, futureforecastinggroup.com, Marty does technical analysis every week, sometimes more often. We do remote viewing. We have great material, and we have a special at our visionary level. You can get a 14-day free trial. So you go sign up, you can watch all of it. Gives you access to all the best material for 14 days. You can just binge watch it, and then if you don't want it, you just cancel, and you don't get charged. Okay, here's my outlandish proposal, Marty. I was thinking this would be a great segment that you and I could do, and it would I would call it, "Don't try this at home." And what we'll do is, you and I have dabbled in options, in futures on, I have a interactive broker account, and you made me a bunch of money. Like, I put 15,000 in, and you had that up to 115,000. I'm down, I think, around 70, but I'm way up. I was thinking of doing trades in public, like you and I talk, like we come on and go, okay, I'm with Marty Hips, and then just a 3-minute segment where I go, don't try this at home, but Marty's giving me some advice. Like, you look at corn and say, Dick, I think corn is, look, here's the chart. I think my target is this. Let's buy an option for this and this, a spread. Okay, I'll do it. And then tune in every day and see how it does. Like, did I lose money or did I make money? And along the way, just do that.
I'm sure we can do something. I got to be careful because I can't step on my subscribers' toes. That's what they pay for. But yeah, we can do something like that with your account. If
it would get you a lot of subscribers, though, because people would tune in. Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it. Yeah,
we'll private. Thanks for the update. So it's kind of big news. The futures contract was approved. You know, it's Bitcoin. It just continues moving forward little by little. Sometimes it makes these big jumps and, goes way up and then it backs off, but still,
it's firm here and it's good. I wouldn't be shocked to see a dip on any kind of news, something that's going to push it down to knock some people out before it makes the next leg up. That's a good chance, especially in the futures market. They'll use the futures to run the stops. But 27, I still think is solid here. And I still think we're headed up to, I still say we'll be close to 40,000 at least later this year.
There's a metric that I use because I'm well known, and that is the people questioning me about cryptos metric. And a woman that I know called me today. I know her from remote viewing. And she said, hey, Dick, how would I buy some Bitcoin? Like, could I buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin? How does that work? I said, yeah, you get a wallet, you get on Coinbase or Kraken or Uphold. And I walked her through it, but people are starting to they're starting to ask about it. So it's the sentiment has gone.
Well, there's so much uncertainty in the markets today. And I think you and I are in the same boat. Like, my comment has been, I'm more concerned about trying to preserve what I have than actually, trying to make a lot of money by investing in any one particular thing. So I think it's really important to be diversified, a bit of everything across different areas, because nothing is for certain. I don't care what it is. And you have to be careful. You need to make sure that you have, as they old saying, not all your eggs in one basket, right? Especially at these times.
See, my plan's a little different. My plan is to make $10 million in 2 months. And I'm not joking.
Well, I hope you're right, because I'm sure if you make 10 million, I'll do very well.
All right, Marty. Thanks for the update. Thanks for
problem, sir.
Put some of you on YouTube. See Marty at bullshift2020.com and go to our site, futureforecastinggroup.com, and get that free 14-day trial. Like and subscribe. There, I did all the promos that
the bell.
The head office has been telling me like, Dick, you never say go to this. Like, I just like to get on with you and talk. I don't do the promos.
Oh, we talk a lot, you and I. We definitely do.
Okay, I'll let you get back to your movie. Thanks, Marty.
All right, buddy. You have a great day, Dick. All the best.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.